Imagine working 60-hour weeks, pouring your heart into a job, only to get fired by a smug boss who hates you for smoking. Now imagine watching that same boss get fired for blowing through 10 times the budget, all because of you. That's my story. If you've ever wished karma would smack down a boss who treated you like trash, hit that like button, because this revenge story is going to be so satisfying. It was the early 2010s, YouTube was still kind of the Wild West, and I had just landed what I thought was my dream job. I was hired as a content creator for a university trying to get into video marketing. The pay wasn't great, about $2,200 a month, but I figured it was worth it for the experience. The first day was fine. The second day? That's when I saw my KPI, and my heart sank. 85 videos. Not in 3 years. Not with a team. 85 professional videos in 1 year. I was supposed to write them, produce them, find actors, shoot, compose music. They wouldn't even pay for royalty-free tracks. And edit everything myself, using my own equipment because their computers were so ancient they couldn't even handle 720p video. It was a one-man mission impossible. When I confronted my manager, she just smiled and said, "Don't worry. If the videos are good, we won't focus too much on quantity." I wanted to believe her, so I pushed through. For the first month, she treated me well. Cheerful, encouraging, even friendly. But then, one small detail changed everything. She found out I was a smoker. The next day, she looked at me differently. Colder. Sharper. A co-worker even face-palmed when I mentioned it and whispered, "She hates smokers. She's tried to get them fired before." From that moment on, it was like she was just waiting for me to mess up. Started nitpicking me for smelling like smoke after breaks. She berated me for coming in 5 minutes late, even though I was working 4 extra hours every single day. If she couldn't reach me during my break, she'd leave me passive-aggressive notes. I was burning myself out. 60-hour weeks, 6 days a week. And still it was never enough. But I kept telling myself, just make it to the end of the year. Do the work. Prove them wrong. 5 months in, I was called into the director's office. My manager was already there, sitting with that fake look of concern. The one where you know they're smiling on the inside. The director didn't even say hello. She just told me she was disappointed. Apparently, I was falling behind. I had only completed 30 out of 85 videos, which, to me, was a miracle. I explained that I was a one-man team, working more than full-time hours, and that the videos I had made were pulling in the highest views the university had ever seen. I even reminded them that my manager said quality mattered more than quantity. But the director just waved it off. The KPI is 85 videos. It's halfway through the year. We're cutting the cord now. And then my manager snorted, actually snorted, and said, "We'll hire a professional production house to finish the job." That smirk on her face burned into my brain. But right there, sitting in that chair, something clicked. They thought they had won. But I knew something they didn't. I was the only one who had the database of production houses they could use. That night, I went back to my desk and opened the database. I erased every phone number and email. Except for one production house, the one where my friend worked as a junior director. Then I called him. "I have a plan," I told him. "They're about to outsource all the work I was doing. And you're going to get the job. I'll teach you exactly how to pitch it. You just make sure I get a finder's fee." He didn't even hesitate. Within 2 days, his company got the call to come in and pitch. And thanks to my inside knowledge and the step-by-step playbook I gave him, they were the perfect fit. The director and my manager were stunned at how well they understood the brand. Of course they did. I basically wrote the playbook myself. They signed the deal on the spot. Here's where it gets good. Hiring a production house wasn't cheap. Not back then. Each video cost 2 to 3 times my monthly salary. But they had a full team: producer, director, camera crew, sound engineers, so they could churn out a video every 2 to 3 days. By the end of 4 months, they had finished all 50 remaining videos. And I sat back, relaxed, and collected my 15% finder's fee, the equivalent of 15 months of my old salary. I used it to pay for a dream vacation and enroll in a top film school overseas. I thought that was the end of the story. Oh no, the universe wasn't done delivering karma yet. One day, I was sipping a cocktail in Bali when my phone rang. It was the same co-worker who had warned me about my manager months earlier. She could barely hold back her laughter. My manager had been fired. Apparently, the chancellor of the university discovered that the content project had gone over budget by more than 10 times. See, they only had enough budget for about 1.5 years of my salary. But my manager was so desperate to complete the project, to prove she was right, that she signed off on every single expensive invoice without hesitation. The director got chewed out. The manager, gone. All because she fired me. I hung up the phone with the biggest grin on my face. My friend was now a full director at his company. I had a fat bank account, a degree from film school on the way, and my toxic manager was unemployed. Justice served, with interest. Sometimes, karma takes a while to show up. But when it does, it hits harder than you could ever plan. I didn't just get revenge. I got paid, leveled up my career, and watched the person who tried to destroy me lose everything. What do you think? Was this the ultimate revenge? Or would you have done something different? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And hit subscribe if you love seeing karma served ice cold.